The Homestead Motorsports Complex here in South Florida, the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series now beginning to roll. The second race of their 1998 season. There's the starting grid. Marty Lindley, the young son of Butch Lindley, from whom we've already heard. Bobby Newling, Jim Englebright all the way from California, and veteran Freddie Query. Scott Riggs is here. On down the line, Hal Goodson is back to defend his championship.
Yeah, the 1997 champion.
Ronnie Burkett, Mike Garvey. There you see more of the starters here for this day's race. Pete Orr, David Jude, Steve Christian. David Rudiman comes from great racing lineage. And an interesting story about Conrad Burr.
Yeah, I heard this morning he missed the driver's meeting and he's going to have to start last.
On down the line, you see the other starters here today. Back in 26th position, veteran Ron Young. Mike Harmon, Derek Gilchrist, who's going to be trying his hand at the NASCAR Busch Series this year. Bobby Hamilton Jr., the son of the Winston Cup star. And a pretty good guy going shotgun right there, Bill Venturini.
Yeah, not bad.
Steve Mendenhall.
Yeah, he's a two-time champion for the Legends Car Series out of Charlotte area.
So there you have the starting field, 32 strong for today's event. The Albertsons Greased Lightning 75, 50 laps, 75 miles around the mile-and-a-half Homestead Motorsports Complex. The green flag when we return on TNN Motorsports. So we are set to go here on TNN Motorsports. A beautiful day here in Homestead, Florida. Race number 2 of 19 on the schedule for the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series. A series that visits 16 tracks in 10 states. If you're curious, 1994 through 1998 models of Buick LeSabres and Regals, Chevy Luminas and Monte Carlos, Ford Taurus and Thunderbird, Oldsmobile Cutlass and Pontiac Grand Prix. And Bill Venturini, we are set to go. It'll be interesting to see how many of these guys deal with this big track for the first time. Green flag in the air.
Looks like Freddie Query got a good jump at the beginning of the race on the start.
Took off and made the outside lane work. Cleanly through turns 1 and 2. And if you're not familiar with this racetrack, that turn, as is the case at the other end of the speedway, the turn's redesigned. Now a constant radius turn. Turns are banked 6 degrees. The 86, Marty Lindley. The 2 is Jim Englebright, who's towed all the way here from his home in California to race in a 50-lap, 75-mile event. Freddie Query still shows the way in front of that white car, number 8.
As you can see, as the cars go through the corners here, these corners are really wide now compared to before. They had the 290, almost 90-degree corners. And what it's done is it's made the corners so wide that they actually have to hesitate in the center.
A lot of good work to the inside. You saw that white 68 Mike Garvey. Now looking at 2nd, 3rd, and 4th now as we close in behind the white car of Freddie Query. You've got Lindley, then 3rd place. That's Englebright in the 2. Riggs in the number 94 machine. Scott Riggs from North Carolina. That's a Monte Carlo. 2 laps complete of 50. If you're curious, fuel is absolutely no problem. They can go the distance. Tires could be a concern. If you have a flat, though, NASCAR allows you to change tires. Otherwise, you can't under caution. You can change them all you want under green, but if you do, you're done for the day anyway.
Yeah, if you have to come in, you're definitely going to end up losing a lap. But the 2,100-pound cars, they're not going to use up the tires that much. They're running smooth through the corners. I think tires really won't be much of a problem today.
Lindley, 3rd, right there, the 2 machine. That's Englebright, a regular on the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Tour. Good battle now, side by side there off the corner. That's Mike Franklin in the number 72, working to the inside, trying to draw even with Hal Goodson in the 50. Goodson wearing that number 50 number this year in tribute to NASCAR's 50th anniversary. And there goes Franklin.
Yeah, but you can see Goodson's been able to still make the outside lane work. Been able to hang on to his position. But now looks like Mike Franklin's going to end up getting him going into 1.
That's for 10th and 11th. Good blocking behind them, too. Staying right there. That's from 10th on back. Bill watching that battle unfold. 2 wide. They had an idea to go 3 wide there for a second, it looked like, Bill.
Yeah, I don't know if I really want to try that right now. They're still feeling each other out, feeling the cars. Now's not the time to try 3 wide.
54 there, that blue and white car. Brian Sockwell, middle of the screen. Again, Franklin and Goodson, the 72 and the 50. Right behind them is Skillman in the 71 machine. Ray Skillman, the Indiana native.
Now you can see that these 2 guys are racing side by side, and there's no clear advantage to which lane's going to be better. That's a good sign that now I think the drivers will feel more comfortable that they can run it inside or outside, and they're not going to have any problem.
TNN Motorsports returns to the Homestead Motorsports Complex right after this. Good battling here at the Homestead Motorsports Complex. The NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series in the early stages of the Albertson's Greased Lightning 75. Eli Gold, Bill Venturini, Glenn Jarrett on hand here. Temperature right at 90 degrees today, Bill, and the track, though, doesn't, at least visually, seem to be terribly slippery.
No, not yet, but we're going to find out in about another half hour or so that, you know, the cars start to run. Actually, the oils from the tires start to grease up the track. The heat's going to bring up the oil from in the asphalt. We're going to see if it starts to get slippery. You know, we started at around noon, you know, it was 90 degrees, and it's going to get hotter.
Well, there goes a slide right up into the wall, and the first caution as Mike Harmon finds the wall and rides it through turn 3 and 4. So Mike Harmon brings out the first caution flag. Lap number 8 here at the Homestead Motorsports Complex. And I hope we didn't kind of jinx him. It's like being on the cover of Sports Illustrated or something.
Well, you can see he's got the net down, which is the first sign that he's okay. That's what we're told. All the drivers are told in the drivers' meeting, that if you're okay after a crash, put the window net down so the safety crews at least know it. Mike's
a veteran of this series. He's been with the All-Pro Series, now the Slim Jim All-Pro Series, since 1991. From Birmingport, Alabama.
Where's Birmingport?
It's in Alabama. Not far from Birmingham. There it is again. He went sliding up the limited banking, and really it's not a flat track, but in many regards, Bill, I guess it is.
Oh, when you're in the driver's seat and you go into that corner at 140 miles an hour, 6-degree banking almost feels like it's banked the wrong way.
He was running in 17th at the time, and there you see him just slide out of the groove.
I don't know if he slid. It almost looks like he might have cut down a tire because the car's just, you know, he didn't try to really turn the car, which gives me a sign that maybe he's got a flat tire.
Well, we'll take another look again. Well wide, and the veteran who's also running the NASCAR Busch Series tags the wall. So under caution for the first time, Freddie Query, that white machine forefront of your screen, has led from the get-go and continues to lead over Marty Lindley. Jim Englebright, they are running second and third. We are getting set to go back to green. Stephen Howard, meanwhile, coming down the pit lane for service. There were reports that someone was throwing some oil out on the racetrack, and Glenn, were they able to find anything?
Well, Eli, they did not down here. They brought him in. They looked up under the car. I'm looking at the pit space now and pit road leading up to it. I do not see any oil anywhere. The crew was kind of mystified. They didn't think that they had a problem at all. And for the lack of oil or the lack of any kind of fluid on the pit lane here, I got to agree with them.
Looked like we saw a little smoke, though.
Definitely, when he pulled down a pit road and went down the warm-up lane, you could definitely see the smoke coming out from underneath the car.
So keep an eye on Stephen Howard. Also worthy of keeping an eye on a man who was to have started second today, Bobby Newling, who was one of the fabricators in Winston Cup racing, and missing the drivers' meeting. He and Conrad Burr started at the back, and now Newling's all the way up to 19th spot.
Yeah, maybe Bob does know a little about the air here, seeing he hangs all the Winston Cup sheet metal for the Yates team.
Conrad Burr, meanwhile, running in 29th. As we are set to go back to green, lap number 11 of a total of 50. Clean start again through the corner. Like anything else, so you get to that outside groove, and you could be hung out to dry, but this time the draft goes outside and it leaves the inside wide open.
Yeah, not for lawnmowers as they go down back straightaway. Everybody's juggling for position, getting into 3.
74 right of your screen, A.J. Alsop. That's the battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th that you're looking at. Duder, Garvey, and Alsop together there. Meanwhile, back on pit road again is Stephen Howard as the leaders go by. And Howard, as quickly as he comes on the pit lane, Glenn, he leaves pit road once more.
Yeah, he did, Eli, and guess what? I believe he's coming back again. As he came by my position here, he's coming by me now on the racetrack. I did see some smoke coming out of the back of the car, so it's not a steady stream. It evidently is blowing it out as the engine's under power there. But when he was sitting here in the pits, no fluid. But as the car's running, there's definitely some smoke coming out the rear of that thing.
Meanwhile, there's the lead from Query in the white machine back to Marty Lindley and Englebright and Riggs and Burkett and Billy Bigley Jr. So Freddie Query in his first Homestead race, who was second in the season opener at Volusia County, he's getting gone right now, Bill.
Yeah, you had also mentioned that 74 A.J. Alsop was running good. He actually started 15th, and where's he running now? He's already moved up to 9th, so that's a good starting spot for him right now.
Single file back to about 13th position. Al Goodson in the middle of that pack right there, the defending series champion. 72 is Franklin. Remember, we showed you earlier in the day the battle he was having. Ron Young in the 4, closing in from behind.
And you can see Bob Newland was definitely using the outside lane as he went around Mike Franklin, and he's moved up another spot.
14 laps complete of 50.
I really like the new configuration of this racetrack. It's definitely made it for a much more competitive type of race because they're not afraid to pass or work each other in the middle of the corners.
Looks like you can drive in a bit more deeply and kind of roll through the corner, then stomp on the gas.
Yeah, that's actually, it's pretty deceiving because you can drive into the corner. You almost don't even need to touch the brakes. Here they're going 3 wide down the front straightaway. Good
scramble right there with Goodson on the outside, the 50 machine, with Newling. That's 12th and 13th right now.
You see Newling got a little loose right in the center. I think he drove it in just a little too far.
00, David Rudiman.
See Ron Young's hanging in there right now, too. Again, they're going to look like they're going to go 3 wide.
Young is in the 4, goes past Goodson. I don't know how many of you folks follow the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series on a race-to-race basis, but last year, the championship came down to the final lap of the final race right here. It was Hal Goodson and Jeff Foltz, who were side by side. Whoever finished ahead of the other was going to win the championship. And in that instance, Goodson finished 15th, Foltz 16th, and Hal won the championship by 2 points on the last lap, last turn here at Homestead.
If you don't have an ulcer, that'll definitely give you one.
Glad you're with us here on TNN Motorsports. Riding along with Stephen Christian. He's currently in 19th spot, is the veteran.
He's running on the back bumper of Brian Stockwell. I remember Brian when he got his start in the Legends Car Series.
Awfully close. Well, they dance around.
They sure are. That's definitely the 2,800-pound, the lighter car. Oh, looks got some little sideways.
Going around Sockwell in the 54. Everybody gives everybody else a good bit of room. A lot of good give and take here in the middle stages in Homestead, Florida.
And those two guys, Ray Skillman and Sockwell, almost look like we're seasoned veterans. They rubbed fenders, got sideways, gave each other room to straighten out.
Derek Gilchrist right there, left of your screen, the 27 machine, now in 10th spot. He's the guy who started in a provisional back of the field. And now here in the span of 18 laps, he's worked up to bypass those fellas there, Newling and Raines. Alsop there in the 74. Quite a run for Gilchrist. Meanwhile, in the garage area, the day is done for Mike Harmon, who tagged the wall earlier. Glenn Jarrett.
Yeah, you can take a good look at the damage done to Mike's number 24 car there. I'm standing by with Mike right now, and pretty hard lick there, Mike. What happened?
I was going in number 3 corner, and the car just went straight. At this point, we don't know whether the tire rod broke or blew a right front tire. I know that the car was really running good. At this racetrack, we started 28th, we had a bad qualifying run. I think the screen already showed us up to 16th after about 5 laps. And the race car was super, the racetrack super, and it really felt bad about the qualifying run, but we felt really good the first 5 laps. And that's just a short day for this Monte Carlo.
Well, it certainly was. The crew's working on the car right now, guys, but I don't think they're going to get him back out today.
So a tough day for Mike Harmon. First and only driver out of the event thus far, with 30 teams still on the racetrack, and everybody is trying to chase down Freddie Query. Rudeman and Hamilton in their private battle for 18th and 19th spot. Rudeman in that white 00, Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 06. Rudeman goes for a slide into the corner.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. is showing a good run here. He had to end up taking provisional start. Yep. What was it, like 30th, somewhere right in there?
Indeed, and Rudeman, meanwhile, hasn't that much extra experience. He's the defending Rookie of the Year here in the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series.
Have you seen Bobby Hamilton Jr.?
Yes, I have.
How old is he? He looks about 12, 13
He really does. He's a young man anyway, but you're right. Looking at him, he really is a small fella. Drives big, though.
Yeah, these young kids are really starting to show us up here.
Such problems. Bobby was born in 1977, so he is 22 years old. But he looks younger than that still. Riding with Christian again. Steve Christian is in 17th. 72 there, Franklin trying to bypass him. There's how it looks from upstairs. Goodson in the 50, just ahead of him now in 15th spot.
And you can see Steve Christian actually used the draft going into the front straightaway.
And we've got caution on the speedway. It is looks like a soft drink can that somehow has made its way out onto the racetrack. And caution is being displayed here at Homestead. Debris on the racetrack, lap number 24. So caution flies for the second time today. Should be a fairly quick caution flag as Freddie Query continues to show the way. Marty Lindley is second. Jim Englebright runs in third. Good run for all of those three. And likewise, Scott Riggs being shown in fourth. And a solid run for the fifth place runner, Ronnie Burkett, battling for Rookie of the Year honors in 1998. We're coming right back. More of the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series on TNN. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Homestead Motorsports Complex. Ray Skillman has made a pit stop in the last few moments. So has Stephen Smith. Jimmy Cope has pitted. Likewise, Brian Sockwell. A lot of the back markers making stops, Bill.
Oh, yeah. When you're running in the back and you're struggling a little, this is the time to make your change. Yeah, you're under yellow. You're not really going to lose any positions. Come in, make a change. If you're running hot or if your car's not working right, put some rounds in it. You can take some tape off, which I saw one guy doing, so he must have been running hot. And it's a perfect opportunity. You've got nothing to lose.
And we can appreciate what it's like running hot because it's a 90-degree day here. There you see the 95 of Stephen Howard. When last we saw him, Glenn Jarrett, he was looking for that oil leak on pit road. Now they're looking for it in the garage, huh?
Well, boy, Eli, and have they ever found it? If you take a look, you can see maybe some of the oil there, but look right down here on the front of the car, the oil seeping down, leaking down. It's all over the two front tires. He didn't have any choice. He had to pit. I don't see how he was steering the things. They're trying to get it cleaned up, get him back out there, get the oil line fixed. But I tell you, he's lost a lot of valuable time, and a pretty greasy mess down here right now.
Well, there's definitely an oil leak. We did see smoke.
So that's the reason there. There is the race leader, Freddie Query. He took the lead from the get-go and has not been headed since. And as we told you, but in case you're just tuning in, Freddie having never raced here before, this a first-time visit to the Homestead Motorsports Complex. Field just about a half lap away from going back to green. Freddie Query has led from the beginning. Glenn Jarrett's down in his pit stall.
Well, Eli, I checked with Freddie right before the race. Of course, he got to move up to the second starting position by Bobby Newling missing the driver's meeting. And when the green flag fell, he wasted no time in charging out to the front. And as you said, he stayed there. Freddie said he really liked the car. They got to practice late yesterday afternoon. He says it is perfect. They don't want to change anything. Don't plan on having to stop. Right now, everything going Freddie Query's way. And, Bill, you made a good point. He has been to a lot of races. Freddie probably has more experience racing in this division than anybody else out there right now. And, buddy, it's showing up.
Sure is showing up. Remember last year, Bill, in Nashville, the All-American 400. This man, I mean, he flat out dominated.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's originally started, I guess, running around the Concord area, Concord Motor Speedway, or Motorsports Park, I guess it's called now.
Right.
What a training ground it is for drivers. Hard track to get around. If you can get around there, you usually can go anywhere and run good.
Freddie's been in the series since 1993. Green flag coming. Marty Lindley in the 86, running right behind him in second. And again, the West Coast visitor from Fairfield, California, Jim Inglebright in the 2. Just past halfway here on the restart. I've been impressed. These guys have done well. Good, clean starts and restarts today.
Definitely. You can see they're really comfortable here. No one's making any foolish mistakes. If they try to go 3 wide into the corners, someone's got enough sense to back out of it. 2 wide's not been a problem.
Bobby Newling, you saw him there. Newling in the 40, making his move around some of the slower machines. Comes the 74 A.J. Alsop, who had a win last year. Finished 9th in points a year ago, and again, Stephen Christian in 14th position. We're riding with him.
Boy, you can see him right in the center of the corner. He's actually down on the apron.
David Jude is ahead of him. Meanwhile, look at the battle for 4th shaping up. Riggs to the inside. Burkett is there as well. And Burkett battling side by side. 4th and 5th. All of this taking place now a good 2 seconds behind the race leader.
You're talking about 4th and 5th. You got 4th through 9th,
exactly.
all under a blanket right now.
Riggs, Burkett, Billy Bigley Jr., Harvey and Gilchrist. Newling on the outside, that orange or red machine near the back of the pack. He loved that outside groove today.
He's been looking.
He's caught Mike Garvey in the 68. They go by Billy Bigley Jr. in that black car to the inside. Derek Gilchrist also in the 27 going by.
Next time we come down the front straight, look at Newling, you can get a good look at Newling's car. You can see the left rear quarter panel is actually flapping in the wind. These cars have fiberglass bodies. They're not steel bodies. And if they're not totally supported to the frame, you'll see that if we can get it next time by. I'll see if I can even point it out to you. I don't think it's really affecting him. But if he's not careful and it ends up ripping off, he may end up having a problem.
Big scramble going into the corner. Lap number 32. Again, you're looking at 6th on back.
Is it 6th through 15th now?
Just about.
What a beautiful shot down the back straightaway. The palm trees, the big American flag.
You got the seafoam green color to the retaining wall. This place really says South Florida, doesn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they were going to have a pink wall or that seafoam green.
They're going around the number 54 of Brian Sockwell. If you're wondering where car 54 is, there he is to the inside groove.
There's Newling again trying the outside.
33 laps completed, 50. Let's watch that ongoing battle again. The 94 is Riggs. Newling has caught him in the 40. Riding along now with Ken Alexander. from Central South Carolina. He's running in 22nd position. Sponsored by Greased Lightning Cleaner Degreaser. Sponsoring this event along with Albertson Supermarkets. There's Alexander.
Yeah, as I'm talking about the fiberglass body, see right in here, you can see the top of the hood just really flexing and bouncing around in the air. That's because of the fiberglass bodies we're in. The Winston Cup cars, you won't see much of that. And if you do, you'll see it more in the center of the area here where the cowl opening is, but not usually on the outside ends.
Alexander, by the way, with whom we're riding, is the president of Greased Lightning Company. That's his own Monte Carlo.
Gee, that's a nice advantage when you're looking for a sponsor.
I call yourself up on the phone. Heck of a way to do it.
Yeah, the bad part is if you refuse yourself.
Up front, Freddie Query showing the way. Marty Lindley in the red machine second. Jim Englebright is third. That's the way they have been from the start. 31, Ronnie Burkett. And the 40 machine was 9th on the restart, Glenn. He's doing awfully well, running in 5th.
Absolutely, Eli. He just took over the 5th position, and the guys down here in this pit, you would have thought maybe that he had taken the lead. But you got to consider the guy had to start dead last with only 2 caution flags. He's charged his way up to 5th position. He's got an awfully good race car. They just wish he had more laps. They think that he can catch Freddie Query.
And remember, too, Newling right there in the 40, only 2 races in the series last year, and this is his first race in the series in 1998. The NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series continues from Homestead. We're back on TNN Motorsports in a moment. 13 laps remaining here at the Homestead Motorsports Complex, the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series. Race number 2 of 1998. Wayne Anderson won the very first event at Volusia County Speedway. Looks like Marty Lindley's turned it up a little bit here, Bill.
Yeah, he's definitely closed it up. Earlier in the race, Freddie Query was just kind of dominating and setting the pace, but it looks like Marty Lindley's actually starting to reel him in. I don't know if Freddie's actually slowed down a little. I'd have to say Marty's actually picked it up.
Of course, if there ever is one race on the circuit that you'd like to pick it up, it would be here. This race is providing the highest payout per lap of any event on the schedule this year on a per lap basis.
I've noticed the 3rd and 4th place cars are actually coming into the picture now, so I think the whole field's realized you're coming down to 10 laps to go. Now is when you've got it's the make or break time right now.
Here they all come calling right now. 3rd and 4th place. Englebright is there. Burkett right behind him. And that black machine. And there you see the spread. Left of your screen is Query in 1st. Right of your screen is 4th and 5th place right now.
Well, yeah, Bob Newling's definitely moved up back into the picture. I think he's the fastest car on the racetrack right now.
Does he have enough time, though, with 11 laps to get to the front?
Well, that's going to be the question. I know if there's a yellow, he'll have a shot. I don't know if he can catch Freddie in about 10 laps. He's sliding it out in the corners, though. You can tell he's definitely a good car.
Turns 3 and 4. Newly redesigned this year. And there goes Newling closing in again in 5th spot, trying to knock on the door of 4th place.
You got to realize that 4th and 5th place guys are both running for rookie this year.
Right. Ronnie Burkett with him in the 4th spot right now. Burkett had one start a year ago and had a good top 10 at Volusia County earlier this season. There's 4th and 5th place, still a dandy.
Yeah, Bob Newling's underneath him, coming off a 4.
Newling to the inside of Burkett. That's for 4th spot. Of course, all of this now is nearly 2 3/4 seconds behind Freddie Query. There you see the spread, 1st through 5th, as Newling has 4th place now. There you see 6th position on back. Derek Gilchrist leading that battle right there. And you've got Riggs, Garvey, the black car, Billy Bigley Jr. There's Ron Young in the 4, left of your screen. Stephen Christian in the middle. Christian trying to make the move to the inside. This is for 11th spot. Riding with Christian as he says, see ya, to Ron Young. And as Young says, I'm back, to Christian.
I don't know. If you look on the left front of Ron Young's bumper, you can see he's just waving his hand to Christian, too. I think they touched, because you can see on the right here in the left front corner. Right, can't quite see it. Right in there. There's a tire mark. I think they ended up rubbing coming up that corner. But Christian's back out the position.
Sean Studer in the 98. Right there, that yellow machine. He's trying to pick and choose his way through that maze, and finally does. He shows some patience and grabs Young on the entrance to the corner. We're at lap 43 of 50. We're staying with this battle here because for the moment, nobody challenging Freddie Query. There goes Studer, and here now is a closer move up front as you see Englebright having just now gotten around Marty Lindley. Or correct myself, with Newling. Newling right there in the 40 closing in on Englebright for 3rd and 4th.
You see right in the center of the corner, Bob Newling's car definitely slid up a lane. He's using up his tires, had to use them up, going from last all the way to the front. And it's showing now that he's actually starting to slip and slide a little too much.
And there you see the spread. Query on the left of the screen, white car. Marty Lindley a strong second. Here goes the battle for 3rd. Bobby Newling passing Englebright, gets him at the stripe. Tell you though, you got to tip your hat to Englebright. Here's a guy who tows 3,000 miles from his home in California to run a 50-lap race.
I don't quite get it.
Freddie Query. Glenn, I mean, nobody's touched the man today.
No, and the guy you're looking at right now, Eli, that's Alex Query. That's Freddie's 25-year-old son, and crew chief. I asked Alex if everything was okay. Said the car was great, that Freddie loved it. Now, Alex himself could probably be doing a little bit better. Let's move the camera down to look at his left foot here. It's in a cast. He's going to turn around for us. Broken the left leg. He did that in a motorcycle racing accident. So these guys love speed. Sometimes speed doesn't love them, though.
I bet not. But there is the man who had the bud pole at Volusia Speedway Park, the old Volusia County Speedway, in the season opener. And now is seemingly en route to victory number 1 of the year and number 9 of his career today here in Homestead. Further back, 9th place right there on your screen. The white and blue car is Garvey, Billy Bigley Jr. in the black machine right behind, and then A.J. Alsup in the 74. That's a good battle. 9th, 10th, and 11th spot here in the late stages.
Yeah, they've been kind of just bunched up together. You see Billy Bigley get a little sideways in the corner, and A.J. Alsup almost was able to get underneath him.
We had showed you earlier the 54 car of Brian Shockwell. If you're following his whereabouts, he has just turned into the garage area to become the 3rd retiree, or actually now just only the 2nd retiree, because they have gotten Stephen Howard's oiling problems wrapped up, and he's back out on the racetrack as the field now has just 2 laps remaining to the checkered flag. 4th place right there. Englebright in the 2, Burkett in the 31. Got to tip the hat to the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series. These guys have run a good, solid, clean race here today.
Very clean race. We only had 1 accident, and that wasn't, I don't even feel, a driver's mistake. That was, I think, either a flat tire or something broke in the guy's car.
White flag is in the air. One more time around a mile and a half for that man, Freddie Query, from Mooresville, North Carolina. His wife, Elaine, is technically listed as the car owner. Lindley stuck with him as best he could all day. But at this stage, he has fallen to about 3/4 of a second behind in second spot. Newling will come across the line in third, but it is Freddie Query going wire to wire. Took the lead on the start after starting outside of the front row and never did look back to win the Albertsons Greased Lightning 75 here at the Homestead Motorsports Complex in Florida. Glenn Jarrett with a happy bunch of family members.
And the happiest one, Eli, may be his son, Alex Query, in a great race there, wire to wire. Were you nervous at all?
Well, you're always nervous during a race. You never know what's going to happen. But I tell you, with Daddy driving, and that's just my stepmom and Daddy and I, we come through the racetrack and we work the tail off. And Robert Hampton and them are going to help us pit in our car, and I'd like to thank them. I tell you, it's just nerve-wracking until they throw the checkered flag, though.
Well, it certainly paid off today. Congratulations. Let you go to victory lane and celebrate.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations. That man, Freddie Query, winning here in Homestead, Florida today, his Monte Carlo on the way to victory lane. Well, Freddie Query is in victory lane. So, too, is Glenn Jarrett. Glenn?
And Freddie gets out, gives that victory salute. You take a big old sip of Gatorade there. And, Freddie, congratulations. I talked to you a little bit before the race. You had a pretty good suspicion you had the car to do it.
Well, I knew we had a good car, Glenn, and a great motor. Jeff Hamner been working awful hard, you know, trying to get this restrictor plate deal to work out. Been down here with Hank Parker Jr. about 3 times, and he's ran awful good. And basically our cars are the same, and I came with the same setup I had him on the 3 times he was here. And, you know, just a good, clean race. First time I raced on this thing. Just a lot of fun. Got to thank W.J. Clemens Insurance, you know, for helping me out to do this deal. And my son Alex and my wife Elaine, that's my crew.
But, Freddie, got to ask you a question. About maybe 15, 18, 20 laps to go there, Marty started to close in on you a little bit. Just wondered if you saw him and turned the wick up a little bit, or if you were just coasting at that time.
Well, I wasn't coasting, but I was getting a little more careful, you know. To really go fast, you got to run off the track in the corners, and it kind of makes you a little wiggly, and I just quit doing it with about 10 to go because they'd already told me, you know, if I could slow up a couple tenths and they couldn't catch me. So we had it won, and I wanted to make sure I got here to talk to you.
Well, he certainly did that. Congratulations. Great payday. Big win for Freddie Query.
And our congratulations to Freddie and the entire family. Marty Lindley comes home in second. Great run for Bobby Newling from the back to come home in third spot. Jim Englebright from California comes home in fourth, and a solid 5th place finish for the rookie Ronnie Burkett. Derek Gilchrist from 29th position to finish up in 6th. The 94 machine of Scott Riggs came home in 7th. A good, solid run also for a fellow who we really didn't talk all that much about, David Jude, another of the rookie contenders. He finishes in 8th today. Mike Garvey comes home in 9th. Billy Bigley Jr. will finish 10th. Unofficially, A.J. Alsup comes home in the 11th spot. Sean Studer will finish 12th. Stephen Christian will be 13th. 14th goes to Mike Franklin, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. coming home in 15th. And a good day today, Bill Venturini. I think for all of these guys, a solid run.
Sure, good day. And I got to tell you, you're looking at the finish. You've got 3 guys that are running for the rookie title this year that finished in the top 10. That's going to make an exciting season for these Slim Jim All-Pro guys.
And it's got to be an exciting day for that man, Freddie Query, the winner here in Homestead. We thank you for joining us. For all of us here at TNN Motorsports, and for Bill Venturini and Glenn Jarrett, I'm Eli Gold, bidding you so long from the Homestead Motorsports Complex in South Florida, where Freddie Query has won for the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series. So long, everybody.